So here we are. I'm gonna do my first guide here is gonna be on the Vengeance Juggernaut. Obviously, you want to be in Sheehan form for Vengeance. I know that seems ridiculous to say, but you never know. There's some people out there. But anyway, so first thing I'm going to cover is about the rotation. Before we get into the rotation, I want to show the set bonuses so that you know, because with set bonuses, it will augment your rotation a little bit. Obviously, Sundering Assault, it increases your damage dealt by 2% for 15 seconds. That used to be the old set bonus when it was only 2 and 4. That used to be done on, I think it was 10% actually, on Force Charge. But anyways, so the 4-piece set bonus increases the minimum range of saber throw by 10 meters, so then you can actually use it right up close. Because before, I think it was you can only throw it between 10 to 30 meters. And then obviously using saber throw makes your next impale or furious strikes critically hit, so that's pretty good. So Vengeance Juggernaut is one of the most classes that I see people play improperly when I'm PvP. Vengeance is a sustained DPS spec. Now, unlike every other sustained DPS specs, your dots are secondary. Don't even think about dots. Vengeance has dots, yes, but the way Vengeance works is that given that you have the rage, you can literally use your main rotation over and over and over and over and over without ever having to stop. And that's because the way the cooldown and reset do. So you shouldn't even think about dots. So your main rotation is Ravage, Shatter, Impale, Force Scream. Right? That's your main rotation. Now I see a lot of people use Impale and then they'll Shatter, but if you look, the Shatter's cooldown is 11 seconds. I think it's 12 seconds, but I have 5% alacrity. So, and then Impales is only 9 seconds. So, you always want to use Shatter first. Now, a lot of times, obviously PvP is a very mobile changing situation. So a lot of times I'll jump in and I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to get a full Ravage off before somebody takes off. So I will actually start with Shatter, Impale, Force Scream, and then I'll do a Ravage. Also note is before you start your rotation, you want to do a vicious throw, or I'm sorry, a saber throw and a force charge. And then when you get your destroyer procs, you can work in your vicious throw as it procs. So here's what your main rotation should look like. Ravage, Shatter, Impale, Force Scream. Also, before you start that rotation, you can do a Sundering Assault if you need the rage. I know, personally, I usually, when I jump in, I will do a Sundering Assault first. I know a lot of people like to use Enrage. I don't use Enrage a whole lot because, I don't know, I just really need it. So I like to do that Sundering Assault again for that. Obviously it sunders a target for extra damage, and your set bonus gives you the extra 2%, so you'll do more damage that way. Now for dot spreading, I've been experimenting with this actually. If you notice, your Impale does a little itty bitty dot, and your Force Scream also has its a little dot. Your Force Scream dot is like pathetic. It doesn't do anything. Shatter dot, however, like Annihilation Marauder, it'd be the equivalent of Forced Rend. that is the primary dot you want to spread. So what you can do is after you hit shatter, you can do your vengeful slam. If they all line up perfectly and you know they're there, just do the shatter and do the vengeful slam. Only worry about your shatter first. Because there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, everybody's all set up, and I'll be like, shatter, impale, and then by the time I get the force scream off, everybody's split up, and then my vengeful slam doesn't end up spreading anything. So mainly focus on spreading your shatter dot than anything else, because your shatter dot is your big hard-hitting dot. I mean, it deals almost 4,000 damage over 12 seconds, plus it lasts the longest. So that's it for the main rotation. I'll show you what it looks like full scale here. But see, as you can see, you can literally keep going. You never have to stop. But at a minimum, you should never really vengeful slam when you do not have dots ticking. So that's what it should look like. Now the Juggernaut is very good because obviously it has its own. It has 3 lives basically. So you got your default life, and then when you get low, you want to hit Enraged Defense. Obviously that'll heal you to full. And what a lot of people may, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you should always use Endure Pain back to back with your med pack. So hit Endure Pain first, and then your med pack, and you'll be back to full health, like literally. So that's why Juggernauts have 3 lives. It has a lot of utility. A lot of people, you know, they don't taunt. I mean, you got, not only does Intercede give you, it gives your target 28% defense, you know, reduced damage taken for 6 seconds, and then you got your AoE Threatening Scream. It has a lot of CC and control. You got your slow, AoE slow. And what's good about the AoE slow now is I don't think it used to a long time ago, but now Chilling Scream does a little damage. I mean, the damage isn't a lot. However, it's useful for breaking people out of stealth. It's good for, you know, you got a bunch of people capping and you need to stop them real quick, you know, then fucking Chilling Scream and that'll stop them. Yeah, a lot of jugs, they'll leap in, vengeful slam. Oh, you know what? A lot of jugs also, what they'll do is they'll leap in, force push, and then leap again. Like, that's a complete waste. Sure, if you're carrying the hut ball and you're trying to transverse across a large distance, then yes, do that. But other than that, it's a waste. You know, save that force push from separating a healer from a tank. Save that force push, you know, if you're overextended, push that healer back into the middle of your team, you know, so that everybody can turn on him and take him down. But, so that's that. Make sure you do use Intercede on your friendly targets, and that's that. So let me go over the utilities that I personally use. First one is Payback. This was a very good skill to have, especially as a tank. You know, you'd want this one. Reduces the cooldown of Unleash by 30 seconds, causing Unleash to heal you for 10% of your maximum health. I used to get this Unyielding. This talent is amazing because they actually gave it to Marauders, and then when they added another ability to it on the Marauder side, and then they changed the name to Inexorable. I don't get this now as Vengeance. You don't really need it because the Juggernaut itself, when you take damage, you build rage. You have to refund a lot of rage. Plus, you got Enrage, and you got Sundering Assault. So I never really worry about Jugs. They even said Jugs 3.0 are swimming in rage, so you don't really need it. But if you do have Rage Shovel, then pick it up. I always like to have Ravage Root, even on my Marauder. And the thing to note, first of all, Juggernauts have 20% increased weapon damage. Plus, the Vengeful Tree, let me see if I can find it somewhere. I know one of these abilities increases Ravage damage by quite a bit. Let me see. Yeah, see, Ravage, and then Ravage deals another 20% damage. So basically, a Juggernaut's Ravage does 40% more damage than a Marauder's Ravage. So, it's bullshit, but whatever. So I like to have Ravage Root. It's always good control ability, even with a lot of people having a lot of mobility, but it's still good. And then obviously, since they took out, what did I think I did get Unyielding before, but since they made Unstoppable from the Vengeance Tree and put it as a utility, you have to couple this with Brawn, because Brawn, where the hell is Brawn? Oh, here. Brawn, it stops you from some of the CC, and then Unstoppable will give you the rest of the CC immunity. So, obviously, as a meleeer, Pool Hatred is a very good utility, because whenever your movement is impaired, you get 5% damage bonus to your next ability that consumes Rage. This actually used to be part of the old Vengeance Tree anyway. So whenever, you know, you're slowed and stuff, you get even more damage, so that's good. Seething Hatred. I personally love this. I know a lot of people don't get it, and it is kind of useless in the middle of a long, drawn-out fight. However, there are times, like, you kill somebody, you get out of combat, and then bam, over there in the corner is somebody else. So it really helps you to be able to, for mobility purposes. I just like to have this. There's definitely others you can take. You know, you got Sonic Wall, which is the tank talent. This one, I mean, Force Choke, but there was one that you can either go Chilling Scree is free for Vengeance. So I never really took this even as the old Vengeance, because what is it? Smash and Vengeful Slam, it's very small. It's only 5 meters. I know Vengeful Slam looks like it's huge, but the actual radius is only 5 meters. So it's not, and with the mobility of PvP, I don't find it that useful. And then of course I get, for the heroic tier, I get Through Passion. Lowers your in-range defense by 30 seconds. That's very useful, and I couple that with Consuming Rage, which makes your in-range defense a CC break. So I do get the extra CC break. For gearing, I gear most of my DPS and healers the same. I basically do a default. I love to have 5% Alacrity and 71 Surge, all power, no crit, and that's what I go with, because I like, and especially Alacrity is important, especially for sustainment DPS, because it makes your dots tick faster on them, so you can get a lot more burst that way, having your dots and then smashing somebody down. So that is the quick down and dirty of a Vengeance Juggernaut. I'll do one more rotation, and then I'll open up. I'm streaming right now, so open up to my stream for any questions. So ask any questions that you have. Yeah, well, my stats, I'm a main statter, so I always go main stat. As you can see, I got 5% alacrity. Actually, I forgot it. This should be 5.30%, but I don't think I've been too lazy to replace that enhancement there. So everything else, I'm full Dark Reaver. Obviously, your relics, you always want to get Focus Retribution and Serendipitous Assault. So anyway, so that is it for the Juggernaut.